Thank you for coming to my presentation, because today we gonna talk about most popular streamer in this early 2026. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 4 in ranking is Hassan. So you know how on Twitch there are streamers who just play games, scream a little, maybe rage quit, and that's it. Well, Hassan Piker is basically the opposite of that. This dude turned talking about politics for hours into one of the biggest streaming careers on the internet, which honestly sounds impossible, but somehow he made it work. Hassan actually didn't start as a Twitch guy. He started in political media working with the Young Turks, which is like a progressive online news outlet. Over time he realized something important: younger audiences weren't watching cable news anymore. They were watching streamers. So he moved to Twitch, started doing long daily streams where he reacts to news, debates topics, and occasionally plays games, and suddenly, boom, massive audience. Fast forward to 2026, and Hassan is still huge. In January 2026 alone, he pulled about 6.82 million watch hours, putting him around 4th most watched streamer on Twitch that month. That's millions of hours of people voluntarily listening to politics. Like, imagine your teacher had 30,000 live viewers every day. That's basically Hassan's life. Part of why he's successful is his personality. He's loud, sarcastic, confident, and sometimes unhinged in a funny way. Watching him feels less like a lecture and more like hanging out with a friend who's ranting about the news while you both scroll memes. He also streams for ridiculous amounts of time, sometimes 6 to 10 hours, which builds a really loyal community. If we talk about Hassan, we must not forget the drama. One of the biggest recent issues happened in 2025-2026, when he received several Twitch suspensions, including a ban for discussing a shooter's manifesto on stream, which the platform considered improper handling of extremist content, even though he argued it was journalistic commentary. He also faced backlash from a viral clip where people accused him of using a shock collar on his dog, something he denied, plus criticism over heated political remarks that sometimes crossed platform rules. On top of that, his strong opinions on global politics and US elections regularly spark online fights with other creators and audiences, keeping him in constant drama cycles. But honestly, controversy almost seems to help him. Every time drama happens, more people show up to watch what he says about it. And that's kind of the Hassan formula. Strong opinions plus long streams plus internet drama plus loyal audience equals millions of watch hours. So yeah, going from political commentator to one of the top Twitch streamers in the world is pretty wild. It's proof that you don't actually need insane gaming skills to succeed on Twitch. Apparently, all you need is a webcam, opinions, and the confidence to argue with chat for 8 hours straight. Honestly, I'd be exhausted after 20 minutes. The next one is Keydrill. Sitting at 3rd most watched streamer in the world is Keydrill. Well, his number, and if you followed esports even a little, you're like, wait, wasn't this guy a pro player who used to get flamed on stage? Yeah, same guy. Now he's pulling around 12-13 million hours watched in January 2026 alone, which is honestly insane when you realize most of that content is him talking about the game, not even playing half the time, just analyzing, just vibes. Keydrill's story actually starts way before the streaming boom. He used to be a professional player in League of Legends, playing jungle for teams like Excel Esports. And here's the thing, he wasn't some legendary superstar winning world championships. He was good, respected, but not main character of esports anime level. But what people did notice was his brain. The guy understood the game deeply, and when he talked about it, it actually made sense. Which, if you've ever tried explaining League to your friend and watched their soul leave their body, you know that's a rare skill. After retiring from pro play, he moved into casting and analysis, and that's where his personality really started popping. He wasn't just a corporate esports commentator reading scripts, he was reacting like a fan, screaming when plays happened, laughing at mistakes, occasionally roasting players like he forgot he used to be one of them. That authenticity slowly built his audience. Then co-streaming tournaments happened and everything exploded. His streams during major tournaments became the place to watch. People loved having someone explain what was happening in real time without sounding like a textbook. It felt like watching with your smart friend who also yells at the screen. And Keydrill has this chaotic energy where he'll go from deep strategy analysis to full gremlin mode in 0.3 seconds. One moment he's predicting macro rotations like a genius, next moment he's shouting, "What is he doing?" like the rest of us. By 2025 into 2026, the growth was just ridiculous. His community became super loyal, tournaments kept bringing massive viewership spikes, and his daily streams filled the gaps between events. So when January 2026 numbers dropped and he landed 3 globally, it wasn't even a fluke. It was the result of years of building trust with his audience. He basically turned watching esports with a friend into a career empire. And honestly, that's the coolest part of his story. Keydrill didn't win worlds. He didn't become the greatest player ever. He just leaned into what he was naturally good at, understanding the game and being entertaining while talking about it. It's kind of reassuring, right? Like, you don't always need to be the absolute best performer to succeed. Sometimes you just need personality, consistency, and the willingness to scream at pixels on the internet for thousands of hours. And now, that guy is one of the biggest streamers on the planet. Which is wild. Like, imagine telling 2018 Keydrill that one day millions of people would watch him analyze Baron fights. He probably would have said, yeah, sounds about right. Our number 2 is Belong to Ismangold. Alright, picture this, you and me on the couch scrolling through Twitch highlights, and suddenly a loud, charismatic guy yells about mounts and nerfs, and somehow 5 hours have disappeared. That's basically Ismangold. Quick scoreboard from January 2026. Ismangold landed the number 2 spot on Twitch's most watched list for the month, right under the Burnt Peanut and ahead of a ton of other huge names. So yes, the guy's still pulling massive attention. In January 2026, Ismangold pulled in about 8.4 million hours watched across his channel that month. To put that in dumb easy terms, if you sat and watched his stream non-stop from January 1 to whenever February started, you still wouldn't match all the collective hours his viewers gave him that month. Wild. Why do people tune in? A few reasons. He's been around forever compared to a lot of streamers. He has strong opinions, sometimes controversial, sometimes peak comedy, and he genuinely knows MMOs inside out, which makes his live stream commentary way more addictive than a Let's Play that forgets what it's doing after 2 minutes. He's also not just a gamer, he's branched into reaction content, talk shows, and big event streams, so there's always something for both the casual lurker and the diehard fan. The cool part about Ismangold's story isn't just the raw numbers, it's the arc. Dude went from niche MMO guy to mainstream streamer who can steer conversations about games, communities, and even politics all live. There've been bumps, drama, platform switching chatter, the usual internet chaos, but his core skill is the same. He's honest in a way that makes viewers feel like they're hanging out, not just watching a show. Ismangold's vibe is equal parts MMO nerd, hot take machine, and oddly sincere entertainer. Whether you love him, tolerate him, or watch him purely for the chaos, he's still one of the places people go when they want long, unpredictable streams. 3 to 4 minutes. Say this story out loud with a couple of clips queued up, toss in the 8.4M stat for shock value, and you've got a neat punchy little presentation that'll get people asking, wait, how many hours did he get again? Then enjoy the follow-up debate in the chat. And finally, the most popular streamer early 2026 is the Burnt Peanut. So imagine you're scrolling Twitch rankings, expecting the usual big names, and suddenly a talking peanut is number 1. Yeah, that's basically what happened with the Burnt Peanut in early 2026. He's a VTuber, meaning the real person hides behind a virtual avatar, except instead of anime style, he chose a slightly cursed peanut with human eyes and lips. It sounds ridiculous, but somehow that weirdness is exactly what made him stand out. People didn't just watch for the games, they watched for his chaotic personality, jokes, and the unpredictable energy every stream had. It's like if your funniest friend became a peanut and decided to stream for 7 hours straight. Now here's the crazy part. In January 2026, he pulled about 11.3 million hours watched in 1 month alone. That number basically put him above huge streaming veterans and made him the most watched streamer on the platform for that period. And the wild thing is he didn't even stream nonstop 24/7. It was around 196 hours total, which means the average viewer count was insane. A big reason was his streams of games like Ark Raiders and Escape from Tarkov, where drama, competition, and community events kept viewers hooked. At one point, he even threatened to quit a game over cheaters, which only made fans more invested. Nothing attracts viewers like a little chaos. Basically, he turned gaming into episodic entertainment, like a Netflix show but live and with more yelling. What's also interesting is his rise wasn't overnight luck, it came after burnout. He actually took a break from streaming before reinventing himself with the Peanut avatar, which cost almost nothing compared to fancy VTuber models. That rebrand worked perfectly because it gave him a unique identity in a space where everyone is fighting for attention. Fans even created their own community nickname, which shows how strong the connection became. When viewers start nomming themselves, you know the creator has reached another level. It's like fandom evolution, stage 1, viewer stage 2, subscriber stage 3, we are the Peanut Army. Honestly, marketing students could probably write a thesis about this guy. And the biggest lesson from his story is kinda simple but powerful. Being different is an advantage. He didn't try to copy the biggest streamers, he leaned into something weird and memorable instead. Plus, his personality carried everything. The avatar was just the hook. In the streaming world, people don't stay for graphics or production quality, they stay for the person behind it. So the burnt peanut becoming #1 isn't just a funny internet moment, it's proof that authenticity and creativity can beat even the biggest names. Also, let's be honest, if someone told you a peanut would dominate the internet in 2026, you'd probably laugh, but here we are. The internet is unpredictable, and that's exactly why it's fun. So here's the deal. We're officially living in a simulation where watching someone scream at a pixelated horror monster or sleep for 12 hours is considered peak cinema, and honestly, I'm not even mad. Early 2026 has proven that if you have enough caffeine, a decent ring light, and the ability to turn a minor inconvenience into a 3-day geopolitical event, you've basically won at life. We've traded traditional TV for unhinged marathons and subathons that make Victorian novels look like short stories. So, before you close this tab and go back to being a productive member of society, ask yourself, are you the main character, or are you just another chaotic entity in the chat spamming emotes while the world burns?